Hello, hello. Welcome to our weekly live broadcast where we discuss exactly what's happening in SEO and AI. April, you're giving me headaches. I'm like, what's
I
happening?
think this is I think this is the way we usually have it. I got confused for a second.
Sounds good. Sounds good. You have your favorite side. So we are discussing SEO and AI here every week because so much is going on. I feel like the biggest problem that the industry is trying to solve these days is to how to keep up. It's not so much about exactly tactics are changing. It's about even understanding where we are moving and what is going to happen when we get wherever we are moving to. So we are helping with that. A quick introduction. I'm Anne Smarty. I have been in SEO for more than 20 years, so I have seen a lot of disruptions and changes, including being like at the very beginning of even social media. It makes me feel very old, but that is it is what it is. I have seen a lot of changes in the industry, and this time, I think this is not so much the most disruptive change because, again, strategies, good, solid SEO strategies are still key. But it is the fastest. I think the fastest change we have ever seen because we could all see this coming. We knew that Google was changing into answer engine from search engines for at least 10 years. This has been happening, so we saw where it is all coming. We knew there will be smart agents that will search on customers' behalf. There will be less traffic and more quick answers in search results and elsewhere. We didn't see that happening that quickly. I think the biggest thing now. With me today and always April, our director of social. She will be bringing up any feedback or questions that you will be posting in comments wherever you're watching us from. We are streaming to my LinkedIn as Anne Smarty, to my X profile. Every time I say X, it's almost like not existing anymore. It's so weird. Twitter, Twitter/X profile as SES Smarty. We broadcast to Facebook, to our Smarty.marketing page, and YouTube as well as Nsmart. Wherever you are watching us from, feel free to post comments. Hopefully, we will see them in timely. If not, I will address them after this quick broadcast, and we will be discussing those as well. So if you have any questions or concerns, let us know. We will discuss those. Today is an interesting topic. We are going back to the new acronyms. As an industry, we can still not decide how do we describe optimizing for AI? How is it different from SEO? And how do we name it? Do we stick to SEO for AI? Do we need other acronyms? We're still fighting every day in comments and elsewhere about this. I had my own opinion on how it could work, but I think that industry is changing, and the more voices speak, the faster I will change my mind. I'm like that as well. I do change my mind based on what's going on. I think this is normal. Before we do that, a quick update from our industry is that ChatGPT is finally launching ads. We were looking forward to that. I am organic. I don't do much advertising for anyone, including my own agency. But we were looking forward to that because we thought that would prompt ChatGPT to work with publishers more, provide them some data analytics insights, and it was also democratize answers because at this point, bigger brands have much bigger chances of being included as part of the answer because obviously LLMs know big brands, not necessarily niche creators or niche brands. Unfortunately, this is not what's going on at this point. ChatGPT ads will have a minimum budget of $1 million. They will charge for impressions, not even clicks, which confirms that it's almost like their official response to everyone trying to build visibility is that we do not send you, we're not meant to send you clicks. We only send you visibility, impressions. So it will be limited to huge brands again. It will be very focusing on biggest businesses out there that can afford those kinds of budgets. Hopefully that will change in the process. I don't think it's going to work well for OpenAI if they stick with this model, but we will see. It will be monetized for everyone who is not logged in or who is using a free account on ChatGPT. So the premium members will not see the ads, as far as I understood. We will see how it evolves. I will report back to you. Check out my subreddit. It is SEO for AI, where I curate all these news, opinions, tests, tools that happen every other day. So it's very easy to track what's going on. I moderate all the repeated questions or AI generated threads out of it to let it be much more focused than any other subreddit that you may have seen. So a very good way to keep track. Also subscribe answermoney.com. This is where I announce every time what we're going to discuss every Wednesday 1 p.m. EST. So if you want to be in context, I try to make it a very focused and very actionable as well. So it's not fluff, it's something that you should and would like to know about our industry and its changes. We represent our own agency here, Smarty.marketing. If you go to that site, there is an option to schedule a free call with me, no strings attached. If you just want to discuss something that is bothering you in terms of SEO, I mean, no personal questions. That I'm not an expert there. But if you have any questions about SEO, your website, or business visibility, what you're doing right, what you should be doing more, this is a great opportunity. It's free, no strings attached. If you do not want to be sold anything, trust me, I will not try to sell you anything. I'm not that kind of an SEO. With that, today's topic is Microsoft's guidelines on how to optimize for AI. There are two things before we discuss. It was met with a lot of criticism. I will explain why. But it is also, I'm one of those people who appreciate them working with businesses, explaining what we are dealing with and how to build your visibility in AI answers. This is the most actionable guide so far coming out from a big, huge business that can influence what is happening. As you know, there's Bing.com. That is a search engines, and there's Copilot. This is Microsoft's LLM that you want to be visible in as well. So why criticism? I think the biggest miscommunication from Microsoft here is that they were focusing more on AI searching. As you know, LLMs will not search all the time. If they know the answer, they will just give you the answer. This is called the training data. Unfortunately, there is no insight into how to be visible and well positioned in the training data, because that is exactly what you want to figure out before you try to optimize for LLMs. And that is the biggest thing that is missing from that tutorial on how to be findable by AI, generative AI. This is a missing step. That's why I agree with most of those criticizing it. One new thing there, and again, it's the first time someone big, not just SEO community, but someone big, adopts new acronyms. Again, I'm not very happy with how they did it. They chose of lots of acronyms that are floating around. They chose GEO and AEO. GEO is generative engine optimization. Previously, when we were talking about that particular acronym, I was thinking that it could be optimizing for citations, for citability. If you want your content to influence the answer and get cited there, you want to apply GEO. This tutorial gives a different perspective of how we should be using that acronym. That is building trust. In their opinion, that is how to make your brand trustworthy enough so that AI is convinced to include you as the answer. And they only mention on-site trust signals, like you need to have social proof, you need to make your awards, milestones, accomplishments, everything visible on your website. It fails to mention the bigger part that influences LLMs, that is all third-party positioning and social proof platforms that usually are even a bigger piece of how your brand should be positioned. This is not included in the tutorial, and I think this is again not very misleading. It's not just about your website. You do want brand mentions, you do want reviews, you do want to have good reviews on third-party platforms like Trustpilot, Google Local, or whatever it's called these days, my Google Business Profiles. So all of those influence how you're positioned. Reddit, let's not forget that huge part that can influence how you're positioned in AI answers. That is not included in the tutorial, which is unfortunately because I think it is much more important than what your site says about you. AEO, that is optimizing for answer retrieval. Again, nothing very new there. Again, you want to structure your content the way that it is easy for human beings or AI or search bots. Extract quick answers from your page. Apart from those answers, those quick answers influencing the actual answer, that could give you more brand visibility through citations, through including your products because they were part of the answer on your page. So that is AEO. I don't think, obviously, that there is a huge need for not just two of these acronyms, but for even one of them, because they do not introduce anything essentially new to the industry. As part of SEO, we were optimizing for answers for many, many years, and that hasn't changed much. We always recommended structuring your content for better visibility, for better answer retrieval. That includes giving definitions depending on search intent. Those could be different ways of doing that, but it is not new at all. So we may use a new acronym just because it exists and it's obviously getting adopted very well, but it is nothing new for our actual work. For GEO, this is a too narrow way of looking at generative engine optimization. If we have to use a new acronym, if you want to justify the existence of a new confusing GEO is very confusing, even for ChatGPT or Google, you will not find that they really know about it yet. But if we have to use a new acronym, it should go beyond just building trust, because that already existed as well. The proper way of EEAT optimization, as we used to refer to it previously, was pretty much the same. If you achieved something, if you have good reviews, if you have expertise in something, show that on your page, on your homepage, everywhere you can, for people, for Google to trust you, now for LLMs to trust you. You need to showcase why you have the right to be visible, why you should be trustworthy, and that is EEAT. Not to fake it, not to try to add fake testimonials or fake awards or something, or fake authorship, which actually how EEAT even started. Everyone was started talking about you need authorship, you need expert on your page. it not always, but it is exactly what GEO seems like in the interpretation of Microsoft. If we have to use a new acronym, my thought process is that we need to kind of go outside of your site. It should be about product and brand positioning. It should be managing your reviews. It should be being on Reddit and building your positive brand presence there in a good, transparent, and ethical way. There are so many more ways to build trust and position your brand than just add social proof on your website. So it is a very narrow explanation. If we just talk about using trust signals on your website, we don't need a new acronym. If we want to talk about visibility and AI answers, it's much more than working on your website. And that is about brand positioning, making sure you know your unique brand differentiators that you can be known for. That is fixing some misconceptions on how your business works and addressing them on Reddit and as replies to reviews. That's managing and relationships with your clients to generate more social proof. So it's much broader way, and it's not just that. It is not just your website. In that case, if we agree to use GEO for the broader brand management and brand positioning and trust building way, then yes, I feel like it is justified that we have a new acronym, whether it's GEO at this point or a different one. That is my perspective and my critique of the guidelines. They do have a lot of good actionable tips, not a lot, but a few actionable tips included. So it is still a good thing they worked on it. It could have been better. I think they could have talked to experts like before they publish something like that to kind of understand a little bit more. But it is what it is. I would definitely suggest reading it or reading my interpretation and my feedback on that over at nsmarter.com. They do have good points about how product page or product feed optimization is a little bit different now than it was for the Google or for traditional search engines. It is still a lot to do with keywords like waterproof boots, for example. But you need to include use cases because people would prompt ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever LLM we're talking about with problems, not so much about find me the boots, because everyone knows brands, you can use Google, but with problems. And the key difference between how traditional search engine works and generative AI engines work is that they make the buying journey much shorter. So you want to start with problems. If your product solves a specific problem, snow hiking, waterproof for temperatures above that or below this, you need to give that in your product feeds and product descriptions to be findable, for those products to be findable online. I think it's not the first time I'm talking about that. I was talking about product feed optimization before, but now we have the official confirmation that it is definitely still important. So definitely worth it. It also talks about schema, by the way, without specifying how LLMs use schema, but Microsoft does recommend using schema. So I feel like these discussions should stop, and we just need to live with that until we have actual answers what it is they're doing with schema. But if they recommend using it, I don't see why not. So with that, I would definitely recommend you do that. Read the guidelines and subscribe to nsmarter.com. I know April has a few questions about that, and we can all agree that it is a good thing they worked on it. It could have been done better, but it is not a bad tutorial.
So you mentioned like how low trust language might be penalized in language learning models. What are some examples of that?
Well, this is a twofold problem. I don't think it's that bad yet, in a way that LLMs are really very easy to convince. So I can see them citing very bold claims. We are leaders. Our shoes are the best. They would definitely believe some of those empty, over exaggerated claims. I think they're moving toward, like, they're training LLMs. So it's more like wishful thinking for the future. You need to make sure, if you claim your shoes are best for something, include according to this and that lab results or tests, including according to those experts that tested thousands of those boots. So you can be very bold and very promotional. That is your product, that's okay. But I think now it's a good reminder that all the claims should provide a proof. Why are you authorized to say this? What kind of background you have to claim something is best or something is the leader? For example, I was doing some audit for a client, and their competitor is actually an H1 on homepage, claim themselves to be the leaders of international this and that solution. But there is a quick note: we've been here since 2001, and these are the test results or experts that confirm we are leading in this particular space. So this is just another reminder for all of us, not just to claim ourselves to be best, but also provide why you are entitled to say that.
So like, would it be beneficial to, like, in the product description to have like hyperlinks to like the studies or the articles that like celebrate your product?
Yep, you don't need to like put them in front, but anytime you have a claim, there is like a little asterisk or something note based on this and that, and verifiable review. So yes, links
Sure.
are great. I don't think LLMs actually follow many links when they visit your page, but they will recognize absolutely the resource or the proof you are providing if you have a verifiable link to that.
So the Microsoft thing mentioned like schema being important. Like how would you recommend a total newbie get started on implementing schema?
That is a funny thing how much we are arguing about this topic, especially on Reddit. There are two camps of people. One of them has almost claims, like, one of the group is like, schema is basically all you need. The other camp is like, nope, it's useless. There is a lot of misconceptions about why and how to use schema. I always said that if it helps search engines, it's good enough for me, because LLMs use the search engines. So if you have schema, it's just like people, they may use that rich snippet, so they don't have to go to your page. They may feature you just because you have a rich snippet there. So how do we do that? Depending on what your site runs on, Shopify has apps, so you don't have to have a lot of technical knowledge. If that's product schema, don't try to do it manually. There are solutions for just about any content management system out there. So just do little or searches, maybe ask if you're using premium weeks, for example. There is a great customer support where you can get some guidelines as well. So don't assume that you need a lot of technical knowledge to do that. Usually it's just a switch or installing a plugin or using an app or using built-in features which Wix, for example, provides. For other types of schema, there are quite a few that are not as easy generated. One of them is like things, organization schema, AFAQ schema. There are online generators, then where you just put in text and they will generate the schema code for you. We have them. We have, for the major types, we have, you don't even need to log in and register. You can just run those. Smarter.marketing, you can scroll down to the footer. There's a whole section of free tools there, and most of them are schema generators. So that is an easy way. You generate the code and you put on your website. That's very doable useful even for very new people. I do think it is intimidating for for most people. I visited a conference where I was talking to bloggers, to food bloggers, and they were very intimidated. Anytime you say schema, they're like, whoa, 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 can you show me what it is and how to do it? Sometimes I even get those free calls asking me to share the screen and actually show where you put that code and how you generate it. If you are very confused and lost, again, there is a free option to call me and I will walk you through, but just don't be intimidated. You really don't need to be a web developer to do that. There are many solutions that can work for you, and they're very easy to use.
Final question. So what kind of content unites all three acronyms?
It is funny that just about any SEO tactic, if it's done right, unites all of them.
Yeah.
Because there's not much new there that SEO is not already doing, especially like if you think about proper SEO. The big problem and why all those things like discussions exist, that not many people even agree what SEO is. They think it's using some shortcuts, spamming, black hat SEO, you would name it. It doesn't, SEO is much more than that, and it has been much more than that for many years. Any content that provides something unique and useful to your target audience is good for all these three acronyms. It will help in both SEO and organic search and LLMs. So it is basically, if you create content for your audience, and I'm not saying this in a broad way. I know Google has been saying create content not for search engines but for people for years, and we never knew what it meant. So you can still use keyword research. It doesn't make your content not for people. It's just when you try to please search engine crawlers instead of talking to your target audience, that becomes the problem. So there could be a keyword you're focusing on and you use in your title or heading or whatnot, but you need to talk to real people, what questions they may have when they have this particular problem. And that makes it written for people. It can still be optimized. It can still be structured for LLMs and search, but it can still be for people. One does not contradict the other. There is a huge misconception about keyword optimization these days, about what is needed and how. And the key here is addressing real people problems. Always, like, I know April has been talking a lot about creating infographics. The same concept works here as well. You need to address real people and imagine yourself searching for something, going to your article and solving that problem. As long as you accomplish that, it is good for all those acronyms. But also it also extends for things like link building, for example. Those links that position you in the right context for the relevant problems or relevant research, that is good link building still. If you create links that are supposed to work just for search engines, that is useless at this point. So you need to kind of put your audience, we go back to basics, I would say. Instead of trying to please just search engines, we need to put your target audience on top of that. Customer surveys, hearing, like including your customer support or salespeople to answer real people's problem in your content, your social media channels, on Reddit. That is going to work, and that is going to help everywhere. Search engines, LLMs, whatever type of LLMs you take, if it's Perplexity, which is not actually an LLM. It's more like an AI generated wrapper of what they can find elsewhere. Or it could be proper LLM with training data like ChatGPT. As long as you optimize for people, they will all know that you are doing and that you will be highlighted more. So I guess this is a good conclusion from today's conversation. Again, is still evolving. If everyone starts saying GEO, we will start using that term as well. We are not trying to fight where the industry is going, but we are trying to adjust our messaging so that you can understand what we're talking about. Let us know what acronym you prefer. I think we also did the survey, and GEO actually was one of the leading SEO for AI, and GEO was the second favorite option from industry, from business owners and internal marketing teams. Check it out as well over at smarty.marketing. We did that research. I also reported it on my subreddit. So there are a lot of places we're building to help you figure out what's happening. Join us next week, 1 p.m. EST, for another cool topic to discuss. Thank you so much. Have a great week and have a great what it is. Yes,
Stay warm, everybody.